Hello everybody, welcome to a fun little let's build or unbox. I don't know how you describe these type of videos for building a Beyblade or whatever, especially for metal fight ones where you're not trimming out a model kit, but we got a cool little Metal Fury Beyblade here. So I picked this up because, one, I'm a big old fan of Beyblade, and this was like stupendously cheap or whatever. Did not pay whatever the market usually goes for these guys, so I was like, I'll take it, and now it's in my hands. It was just at a comic book store, funnily enough. They did not want much for it. It even has whatever label from before. I don't know, whoever owned this before, I guess. I don't know. Random stuff like that. Cool little Hasbro Bay. Not too bad. It was pretty awesome to finally get a hold of it. I know this isn't as great as the Takara Tomy version, but to be honest, I paid like $20 for this, and to be honest, that was good by me. I did not care. So I was like, let's go, because what was it? The store had a whole like 50% off sale, and this was the second purchase. The first thing I bought was a video game, so I was like, you know what? This is cool. Let's go crazy, and I did, and I went and bought this. So it's kind of cool to open another Hasbro Bay. I've not done this in like actual years. Last time I got to open up a Metal Fury Bay was like 0G when that was still a thing. So it is crazy to finally have another one in my hands to actually sit down and open up. So this is Variaries. It's kind of interesting looking Bay. I don't know if it has all the little features that the Takara Tomy version has. Probably not, because it is Hasbro. Especially during the era where they did actually start to cheapen out on certain things. So it's kind of interesting to see. We got a collector's card, an assembly tool, and a ripcord launcher. So this is a left-right bay, by the way. It does not even mention that on the box. I don't know why, but it just doesn't. And it says, only use Beyblade tops with a Bay Stadium from Cosmic Pegasus Space Stadium. I do not own that. I have my own Bay Stadium, and it will show that off at the end or whatever. I don't know, I have a few Bay Stadiums. But, so basically it shows off how you can customize and everything. Got all our fun little parts here, our spin track, our little performance tip, and yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. So let's get on to unboxing this, because this is new, by the way. It's crazy to think about that. See if I can, bam, there we go. Opened one side, opened another, and now we get to sit down and take out everything. So here we go. Just pieces are flying out. So we got a nice printed part here, which is actually very nice. The Variaries symbol, kind of cool there. I do enjoy that is printed, by the way. Like, I've seen some of these Beyblades not have printed little things, so it is kind of cool to see that. So let's see, taking out this guy. It takes a lot more effort than I was expecting to get him out of packaging. So there's the box. It's just kind of empty. There's nothing else in there now. So kind of random. We'll throw that to the side, though. And let's see. We got a weird Beyblade Metal Fury thing, Battle Online. I doubt this code works anymore, but if it does, then enjoy. Cool, Variaries thing. Weird that it's already bent up in there, but I guess that might be my fault. We got a ripcord all bent up or whatever. Cool to see that one of these ripcords, though. I'm going to take it off, though, because this is actually kind of interesting for me. So there's our ripcord here. Fun fact about these little ripcords is that they are compatible with plastic gen launchers. So I don't know if I'll use this with my plastic gen launcher, because it is pretty much curved like crazy. But that is a fun little fact for those who want to use it like that. We do got instructions on the side here, so I guess we'll look at that real quickly. It's just telling us how to Beyblade, isn't it? So yeah, so here's the little things, how to customize it and stuff like that. A triple shot battle. Assemble 3 tops and decide which top to battle in each round. Complete 3 battles using a different top for each. The longest spinning top wins each round. The Beyblader who wins 2 out of 3 battles is the winner. That's kind of cool. WBBA. It's D-Rights. If you probably know this name from my beat 'em on stuff, because I've done a lot of talking about them. And they've also done Beyblade stuff, but we haven't really done too much Beyblade stuff. So this is from 2011. Wow. It's more than 10 years, or more than 10 years ago now. That's kind of crazy to think about that. Pretty much nothing too interesting there. We got a mention from the manga creator as well, so that's kind of cool. And we'll flip to the other side, and it tells us how to assemble the bay with just little basic little art. That kind of looks like Rock Leone, to be honest. I'm guessing that's who that is. And it tells us how to use the bay launcher. I did actually bring out a left spin launcher for us to actually look into, because I do actually have a left spin launcher. So I guess let's look into all of our fun stuff here. So we got a right spin here. I remember when these used to come with like sticker sheets or whatever, so you like put a little sticker in the middle of this thing. I think I have an example of that somewhere right around here. I do actually. We'll see. So yeah. I do actually have another example of that. So there used to be stickers that used to come in these sets. Sorry, proud, not a good example, but here's like random one I had as a kid. So there we go. Here's our little spinner launcher though. The Hasbro ones had these cool little designs to them that I actually really liked, and I really liked the gunmetal gray for this one. So it was really cool to see. I know everyone's gonna be like, don't use the ripcord launchers, use a string launcher. Man, that is a lot of dog hair. I should not have cleaned my dog today before making a video. Yeah, so let's see. Got a little tool here. Trying to see how if I can get this out very easily without having to mess around with the plastic too much. Is this like taped onto there? Jeez. Man, that is... Wow, that is held on there tight. So there's our little tool. Kind of cool to see one of those again. And man, am I going to have to deal with that with the other ones? So here's an interesting part about this. In the Takara version, these actually go back in or whatever. But in the Hasbro version, it's just a little plastic layer, I'm guessing. Kind of looks like it's lost a bit of weight there. And you can remove the layer too very easily. I love them little differences, and I love how shiny this is. I know this is going to oxidize over time and go to that weird brown color, but it is always cool to see how they look when they're all still shiny and stuff like that. And I will be using this Beyblade because I'm that type of person. It doesn't matter if it's new or not. I'm gonna use it. Yep, this is how it's gonna work, isn't it? So there's a little spin track here. And our cool little ball tip, which is much more of a normal ball. I was not expecting that. I used to have like little ball tips that had little bits and pieces on it. I don't know. It's been a while since I've actually played with Metal Fight or Metal Fury and stuff like that in terms of Beyblade, so it is kind of cool to just go back and look at all these designs and stuff like that. So I guess right now would be a good time to actually assemble the bay, which should be the smart thing to do, wouldn't it? I don't know, I just want to look at all the parts. I'm like, ooh, I haven't done this in forever. So I'm guessing what we want to do first, or from what I'm remembering from my memory. So you want to put the track on there, and you just turn it. See if that's it. It's probably not be the proper way to doing it. There used to be like, yeah, see there's little tabs in there, and you want to match up these little tabs on here with the tabs on there. And yeah, pretty much just have to... I'm guessing this was the purpose of the tool. I just remember doing it with my bare hands a lot as a kid. I don't know. So I'm guessing, is that going to pop off? Nope. Okay, so there's our little ball tip already attached on there very nicely. I know Metal Fight people are going to be watching this, and they're going to be very annoyed at me. I know how big the community is nowadays, but I have not really messed around with these things in a while. I'm much more of a Plastic Gen or X kind of guy. I don't know. It's one of those series where I just kind of liked I like specific generations a bit more. Wasn't a big fan of Burst, and I've been trying to get into Metal Fight for a while now. I do like the manga for Metal Fight, and I do actually have like some of the pre-hybrid Beyblades, but I've never got into anything a bit later than that. So there is our wonderful Variaries. It's kind of cool looking. I love the design overall. Very interesting. Kind of seems a bit light in a way. I don't know. I guess that's just what I don't know. I'm weirdly used to like other things, so I'm like, that kind of feels a bit light. I mean, it does have a little bit of heft to it, but not too much, really. So the cool part about this guy is, as you see, we have a right spin launcher here. And if we... Oh, don't... Okay, let's see if I can put my ripcord in. See if it let me do that. I don't know how well this ripcord's going to work. Ugh, this is one of those things where it's like, I don't know how this is going to work. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And we're just going to, I guess, do a little spin on my table, because why not? So let's see. So you can plop this into here. And pretty much you could get a nice little right spin. Oh, where's it going? Where did it go? So yeah, got a little. Let's do this a little bit further away from the camera, because that did not catch on camera at all. But see, we're gonna just plop that right in there and do a little bit of a. So yeah, bit of a weird launch there because the ripcord's kind of really messed up. But there you go. He works very nicely in his little right spin mode there, and kind of easy there. Now we can take this guy here, and I guess we'll combine it with my string launcher here, which will work very nicely. And he's very much a dual spin, so you can very much just sit around and do that. I'm going to do a very light one, though, because I'm not in a big area. And we could just go. There you go. So, he actually works very nicely for dual spinning. I don't have a right spin string launcher. I only have a left spin one, because I only have many El Drago bays from Metal Fight. I do have, like, 10G1 still left over from when I was a kid, but, like, I really don't have many of these guys. So, it is kind of cool to mess around with it. These do kind of remind me of the pre-hybrid a bit, with only having so few pieces. But it was fun to actually sit down and do a little bit of messing around with this guy. And I guess I should do a bunch of little battles or whatever. So we will do that in a little bit. Or, well, I guess we'll do it now for those who are curious. Yeah, let's do some bit of testing. I'll pretty much fighting against, like, the two Metal Fight guys I kind of have currently, so sorry for the weird video. Woohoo! And now we let the battles begin. So I basically went and grabbed out the two other Metal Fight Beyblades I had. So first off, I figured we should do two Hasbro ones against each other. So I basically took out the two basic Hasbro launchers that I had. I had two of the light launchers, the Hasbro editions, because as you know, they had the weird curvature and stuff like that on them. And of course, in this first match here, I decided to use the basic ripcords that came with them, just to make it a bit more fair and a bit more of a equal grounds of fighting. And to show off like what it would have been like when you first got these originally. So, because I know you see like in a lot of videos, people always show off string launchers. I figured I'd be a little bit basic here, mostly because I do lack a right spin string launcher, so got to be that little basic state currently, because currently missing out on the parts to do that for. But in this first battle, we basically did a bit of a spin finish. And of course, in the next one, I did swap out the winders for dragon ones, which were basically longer winders from the original plastic gen, since there is a backwards compatibility between plastic and the Metal Fight launchers, at least for the light launchers, at least. I don't know if that's the same for the Japanese releases of them, but in the original Hasbro editions, you can at least swap out with a bit better ones. So I did this for a little bit here. As you see, we have pretty much had two spin finish battles here, and that kind of works out with these type of launchers in a way. There's not too much power behind them. It's just kind of lacking in that sort of sense. Used to have a power launcher. I don't know where that went, but I probably should have tried digging that up or something like that. But right now, the battle is kind of simple. There's not too much power between either one of the Beyblades going on here. And of course, both of them did sort of spin finish out again. And of course, now I am going to swap over to left spin for Variaries. And as you see, got a pretty good spin out of that by not even doing that great of a launch for it. And there's our first knockout of the whole entire match there. And of course, for the next one, doing the Phoenix first, just to sort of even out the field or whatever, since I am kind of doing this by myself in these matches. And of course, there we go. Got a bit of a good launch for both of them, which probably was more of a major effect than I probably noticed, but not that great at Metal Fight launching. I need to get better at it in general. And of course, we have another sort of spin finish fight here, where you see Variaries kind of got off balance and just very much lost because of that. So at this point onwards, we are swapping over to the pre-hybrid El Drago, And I say these as this are at this moment onwards. This one, some of the battles do get a bit more interesting, just because El Drago is such an active bay, and I'm sort of getting better at string launching at this point. And I see my cat's just walking around in the background if anyone's curious about that. And of course, immediate knockout right there. And of course, go for the next little launch there. This time around, I decided to put Variaries on the spin launcher, or the string launcher, blah. Pretty much going forward, doing both of them at the same time. And of course, I see the nice weight difference is, well, there's not much of a weight difference. Throughout my testing of Variaries against this Takara Tomy pre-hybrid El Drago, you can kind of see they're very equal against each other, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, since Variaries came out, like, I think 4 years after the original El Drago, so it's kind of insane to think that it was struggling against something that was this lightweight bay. Could not imagine it against something that was a bit more heavier in that sense. And of course, here's another good launch there. See, it's got the nice pattern and everything to it. And we already got some nice good hits coming up on this whole match here. And got that nice knockback in a way. So, kind of curious if that's just kind of the sort of standard, or if it's just how lightweight the Hasbro version of Variaries is. Overall, though, I really did enjoy testing out this Beyblade. So that was Hasbro Variaries. Overall, this Beyblade's kind of very lightweight. Guess that's kind of expected for Hasbro, especially during this time period where they were very much cheaping out on a lot of the components for Metal Fight at this point. Because if you've ever seen the Takara Tomy versions of these guys, then you know there was like a lot more gimmicks and stuff like that in them. Nowadays, we don't really have to deal with that struggle too much, since currently, Takara Tomy has taken over the manufacturing process for Beyblade X. But during the Burst era and the Metal Fight era, we did have the times where Hasbro would sort of just cheap out in a way. And of course, this is probably one of the greater examples where it sort of lost its weight to it, lost its gimmicks in ways, because these don't push in and come out with momentum. We did lose the cool tip to the guy as well. So he kind of just makes for a very lightweight Beyblade. As you saw during the video, very much a pre-hybrid could very easily have taken out this guy here. And of course, he saw him struggle with trying to even get some good hits on the Phoenix. Though I know some of those earlier video little segments with the Phoenix were probably not the greatest, since I'm not that great at launching a lot with the light launcher, and I'm not really that great with the string launcher either for Metal Fight. Very much more used to dealing with burst and plastic and X generation bays. So, need to get back into using Metal Fight again. I think the main difference for me, though, was when I was younger, I had the power launcher, and I do not currently have that in my possession anymore, so I need to get a hold of another one of those, or whatever the digital launcher was. You need to get a hold of another one of those and do some battles with that, cause especially for left and right purposes, because that thing did have a whole little end cap things to switch it out with. So, overall, I know this is not a great video for Variaries. I just mainly did it for a nostalgia trip, so hopefully y'all leave this video with some information over the Beyblade itself. If not, hopefully you enjoyed this video, just in general. And that's pretty much all I have to say for this guy. At some point, I'd like to get more into Metal Fight, and hopefully that this is a cool little start to it, and hopefully get more and more into it. If not, I'll be probably getting more into Zero G, because I really do like Zero G. I did remember I read the manga of that recently, and I really did enjoy that. So, maybe I'll have to read the manga for basic Metal Fight and sort of get into it that way. But thank y'all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye-bye. And sorry, Beyblade community, if this video was not that great.